What's up, guys? Welcome back to the MontyVerse. We are here to check out, finally, Marvel Television's first official trailer for Ironheart. And this is a character that I've been really excited to revisit ever since Wakanda Forever, and we're finally getting to do that.
I know, because that has been kind of a long time at this point, so I'm excited to see more about her.
Yes, let's jump right in, starting now.
Oh, God.
3 minutes, the air in this elevator will no longer be breathable.
Oh, what
What?
is this?
Your interview. You'll suffocate, die unless you break into the device on the floor.
That's like a horror
Find a
movie.
gas mask. Good luck.
Okay, so that voice is definitely Anthony Robbins.
100%.
This is really interesting.
Yeah, no, this is a great, like, intro to this show.
And I think it's a great intro to Parker Robbins, the character he's playing, who I absolutely love in the comic books.
I heard Riri Williams was a genius. So you in or out?
Oh, he already has the hood here. Okay.
Riri, I see you. I see you're fed up, waiting to be acknowledged for your greatness.
Damn.
You are not the first genius at MIT.
Oh my God.
Jim Rash is back.
Checking out one of those fancy tech firms.
After my internship abroad, I want to build something undeniable, something
Important?
iconic.
I can give you the tools to help you carry out your vision.
Interesting.
Anyone
Oh.
who's ever accomplished anything iconic in life has had to do some questionable things to get it done.
Oh, so they're actually giving him his powers.
What do you do, Riri?
You've bitten off a hell of a lot more than you can chew.
Yeah, White Castle.
Oh,
Damn, that looks good.
has she had a white suit before?
Yeah, she's had multiple colored suits.
You're gonna end up dead or in jail.
This is so much bigger than that.
That looks fantastic.
This is wild. A shady bunker.
My bunker's not shady. Would a shady bunker have that on the wall?
It's literally above a crate of self-guided missiles.
I'm returning those.
Oh my God.
Now, okay, first thoughts. Why were we hiding this show?
I know. I feel like the way they crafted that trailer, like, not only do we finally have a better idea of the show, I think it was very smart and strategic the way they laid it out, especially with that opening scene.
Not only that, but the show looks good.
It looks good.
For a CGI heavy character like Ironheart, one thing that people were worried about was how is this show going to look on a TV budget?
Yeah.
Well, we know that Disney TV shows budget it's a little differently. This was pre-Marvel Television splitting down the middle the way it is now, but it looks good. The CGI looks fantastic. Those shots looked really, really polished.
No, definitely. Like, all the stuff with her suits and I really hesitate to ask you this question, but I'm curious because this is a term thrown around a lot. Is she typically street level or does she face like larger looming threats?
That's a good question. Any character that has a suit of armor that gives them insane abilities can't really be street level in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I think Riri functions as a smaller scale hero when she first starts out, but she's also involved in a lot of big conflicts and she becomes a member of different young teen hero teams. So yes and no in a lot of ways, but in this, it looks like she's going to be starting out and she's going to be dealing, because again, like the villain she's dealing with in this show, who is the Hood, Parker Robbins, he is on the surface, you would think he's a street level hero, but this man is a menace and in the funnest way possible. And I think they do a really good job of introducing us to his character here, because in the comic books, Parker's really interesting, and he's a really interesting, at the time when he first showed up, new character in Marvel Comics, because he's fairly recent. He hasn't been around for decades and decades, but he's been around for a couple of decades at this point. And his whole thing was when he was younger, he saw a fight between Daredevil and I think it was Electro, and he became obsessed with supervillains.
Oh my God.
Which is like the twist, right? He became obsessed with supervillains. And so his mother got sick and he took on a life of petty crime to kind of take care of his mother, to pay the bills, to help her. And eventually him and his cousin are working a job, and they run into a creature in a red cloak, and he just starts opening fire and blasts the creature. And he thinks he killed it, but what he didn't realize at the time was that it was a demon, and that he stole the cloak and boots of the demon and gained demonic powers.
Gotcha. Okay, because you had been raving about the Hood to me and how you're excited to see him brought to life in the show. So that's fascinating because I didn't know any of that. But part of why I was kind of asking about like the level of threat she faces is because that, like you said, it's gonna be interesting to see how the show unfolds in terms of what. Like I said, you mentioned budgetary restraints. Obviously, it looks like it's going to be a little bit bigger than maybe just street level, but I'm very invested in seeing how that plays out with her dynamic with Parker because he seems fascinating and larger than life in a lot of ways.
He has a lot of ambition in the comic books, and it looks like that they're carrying that over because he looks very faithful. At one point in the trailer, like in the beginning, it's almost like he's piecing together the iconic cloak look from the Hood look from the comic book. And then there's that one shot in the trailer where we see him in the full suit with double pistols and the bright red hood in daytime. And I'm like, that is comic book Hood translated onto screen. And I really love that because I think both of them will be evolving as the show goes on.
Oh, yeah. I think that was evident just by all the suits she had.
Yeah. And it's really cool because they're evolving towards different goals because she very much wants to be her own person. She saw Shuri. She kind of is living in a shadow left behind of Tony Stark. She's not Tony Stark's protege. She has no connection to Tony Stark, but she can do the things that he can do. So she doesn't want to be Iron Girl or Iron Lady. She wants to be her own thing. She wants to be, she wants people to see her for who she is. And I respect that a lot. That's a very strong message. And I love that they're kind of going in that direction with this character. And in the same aspect, Parker wants to be seen for who he is, but he wants to be a crime boss, a supervillain. So I think that's really cool. So not only do they have conflicting ideals, but they also have conflicting power sets because one is powered by tech, the other is by magic. So we're also going to get that dichotomy. They're like two literally polar opposite characters, and to see them like build a relationship and react is going to be so fun.
No, and everything you've told me about him, because I really didn't know anything about him. I don't even know that much about her outside of Wakanda Forever, but the way you've described it, and I knew there was going to be kind of that clash of technology versus magic, which obviously we've seen a lot of characters who harness both in the universe so far, and seeing just how substantial his role will be. Like you said, that dichotomy I think is going to be really fascinating. And I think in a way that we kind of see a little bit of the direction of this show in the sense that they're obviously going to butt heads for numerous reasons, but I still want to see how that unfolds, and both of them seem super compelling, at least in this trailer.
Yeah, and they both come from similar places in life, in their backstories. And I don't want to tell you too much because I don't want to spoil it, but it's going to be really fun to see them kind of bond over their upbringings and bond over their goals and ideals. But when the Hood was first introduced for this show, I was like, that's an interesting choice out of all the villains to use. Why the Hood? And now that I'm seeing the vision, I cannot wait to see it executed.
Oh my God, me too.
If you guys like this video, make sure to give it a huge thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay up to date on all of our latest content. If you want to check out our other Marvel reactions, click the link on the page. Until next time, guys, stay versed.